divided by fear. One man must stand alone against the forces of darkness. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you... me, Deadpool. So, get ready to blow out your collective sphincters.
Please don't random in my house. Please don't talk about it. Do it little, do it little. Please don't tell a lie. Please don't make it lie. Please don't never do it. Don't you understand what I mean when I say so? Never do it now. Never do it now. I just don't know why you make me feel like this again. Never do it now. Never.
He is the merc with the mouth. La Piscina de la Muerte y Chimichangas. He's a living, breathing meme. A sentient pop culture reference. Anyway, in just a few years, his popularity skyrocketed to the point where Deadpool has slowly been taking over the mainstream audience, and pretty much had his presence assimilate every form of medium from comics to games to cons. Now there's a movie out, to TV shows to cartoons, and even anime.
俺ちゃんが参戦すればこのディスクウォーズアベンジャーズも人気急上昇間違いなし日本よこれがデッドプールだ
But how powerful is he? We're going to be looking at his best consistent feats throughout the comics to see just how fast, strong, and cunning he is. Also, as per usual, we only go by the mainstream canon continuity. And unfortunately, due to time restraints, we're only doing normal base Wade Wilson Deadpool. So no Thor Pool, no Pool Boy, no Whittle Wade, no Harold Deadpool, no Deadpool Corpse. I keep doing that. So here we go. All 600 plus comics he starred, appeared, and cameoed in have been researched. All 935 feats he had in the comics, I have analyzed and calculated. Let's do this!
Right on! Let's do it! Rock that world! Rock that world!
Thanks to the experiments by Weapon X, his strength enhanced to superhuman levels. He's beating the crap out of this bub here, busts through solid walls, sent people flying on multiple occasions, and occasionally breaks the jaws of powerful superpowered beings. He's physically strong enough to go toe-to-toe with Cable, and he completely pulverized the brick wall with his face. By calculating the crater with half of Cable's face that went into it, that's over 200 cubic inches of concrete he done up. That requires a force of 800 kilojoules. That kick is equivalent to a sedan hitting you at 89 miles per hour. He's able to bench in excess of 800 pounds while working out, and he also beat a Skrull to death, right before crushing its entire head under his foot with the mildest form of effort. And need we forget the time he also went toe-to-toe and beat the crap out of Tiger Shark. The dude was even armed at the time. The impacts from his punches and kicks are so powerful they generate miniature shockwaves. But his most impressive feat thus far is knocking Moon Knight through a solid concrete wall. I found that he completely shattered over 700 pounds of solid concrete. That's a force of 2 kilograms of TNT. Now let's talk about speed for a bit. Although nowhere near as fast as Spider-Man, Wade is one of the most acrobatic and agile street characters. Enough at least to leap across buildings. He's nimble and agile enough to completely dodge and avoid strikes from an incredibly pissed off Juggernaut and Hulk, jump several stories, and pair that up with his blinding speed, I mean, forget about it. His running speed is so fast he was outrunning an entire mob of Weapon X agents, one of which was Sauron, who was like a human pterodactyl. Pterodactyls can, or I guess used to, reach speeds of up to 67 miles per hour. He was also able to catch up to a plane while it was taking off and stowed away on its wheelie-dealies, meaning it had reached a full takeoff speed, which puts Wade's running speed at bare minimum of 150 miles per hour. That's nearly 7 times faster than Usain Bolt's record speed. His combat and reaction speed is significantly higher, especially when you consider a routine occupational hazard is avoiding and dodging bullets, RPGs, explosions, and lasers. He had enough time to fill an entire dialogue box while a roundhouse kick was a few inches from hitting his face, and he still dodged it. He's so fast that normal humans can't even register his movements. He dodged a sniper bullet and leaped several stories to the top of a roof to confront the sniper before the bullet even reached where he was. He also, and get ready for this one, he dodged a 3-ton teddy bear from falling on him when it was only a few feet away, while all of his limbs were broken. He's reacted to his own gunfire ricocheting off a dude's head, outpaced a gas explosion, flicked a quarter so fast that it went through Santa's head like a bullet, react and block Bullseye's bullet-timing weapons at point-blank range, and he dodged a hailstorm of machine gun fire while he was shrunk down to the size of an ant. Let's turn up the heat a little bit. Cyclops here has an optic blast that's so fast it traveled an approximate distance of 28 meters, fast enough for all the mechanical woohoos to explode at the same time, which means it traveled that far before the first target detonated entirely, giving us a low-end time frame of 555 microseconds, and an overall speed of 50.4 kilometers per second. This means that Cyclops' optic blast is 148 times faster than the speed of sound. The fuck does this have to do with anything? Well, for starters, Deadpool dodged it at point-blank range the first time around. The second time he dodged it, and a hailstorm of bullets and surges of electricity at the same time before disappearing from their sights entirely. His speed should at least be equal to surges of electricity, given how he casually outran it, despite also avoiding bullets and Cyclops' optic blast. Electricity moves at a speed of 60 kilometers per second, thus putting his short-range combat speed at massively hypersonic speed, and giving him a reaction time of 16.66 microseconds. In other words, let me put it to you this way, with a distance of about 4 meters, he could run up to you, slice you up a maximum of 37 times, and return to his stationary position before your eyes even had a chance to see his movements. Having several years of military training and around a decade of mercenary experience, Deadpool is incredibly skilled in hand-to-hand combat. He took on an entire armed platoon worth of soldiers, had a flawless victory against Super Soldier Assassin Domino, has defeated Boneclaw Wolverine on at least 2 occasions with ease, though he is roughly on equal terms with Adamantium Wolverine, and while unarmed, he quickly dispatched Tiger Shark, despite the latter having the drop on him, being armed with a big-ass knife and being around as powerful as Namor out of water. And much like the Joker, Deadpool is too crazy to call. He's completely immune to Taskmaster copying his movements, because according to Deadpool himself, his movements and fighting styles always change. So anyone with a copying ability or a fighter with photographic memory will be shit out of luck.
Dude, how? Taskmaster can copy your moves just by watching you fight. Maybe your moves, Binky.
However, this doesn't affect characters with precog, as established when Spider-Man was still able to predict his movements on several occasions. But Wade's most deadly weapon, according to those around him, is his mouth.
Great. Stuck in an elevator with 5 guys on a high-protein diet.
Oh, Wade. Dreams really do come true. So just shut it. You're up next.
Thank you, sir. You look really nice today. It's the green. Brings out the seriousness in your eyes.
Oh my God, do you ever shut up, pal?
No, not when I'm awake.
So also like the Joker, he always loves to talk in combat, either to distract his opponents, throw them off, or just infuriate them and keep them from keeping a cool head while fighting. Despite him being even more of a motor mouth than I am, Deadpool is a total ninja, right down to the art of stealth. Fucker's so talented he snuck into a heavily armed X-Force base while taking out its most skilled members one by one, and getting the jump on Cable on several occasions. In a fight with the villainous Norman Osborn, aka the Iron Patriot, he literally stole its chest plate right from under him, even with all its, technological scanning devices and shit. He's so stealthy he was able to sneak up on motherfucking Daredevil, whose hearing is so superhuman it's legit echolocation. He can hear heartbeats from several city blocks away, count how many raindrops hit the roof of a building per second, but he couldn't hear the murk coming from right behind him. Also, for whatever reason, Mistress Death also gave him the ability of mediumship, which lets him see, talk, and interact with spirits, souls, and ghosts and shit.
Fascinating.
Spock. And of course, one of Deadpool's most trademark tech is his belt that allows him to teleport in and out of battle as he pleases. The range of his teleporter is at least equal to the circumference of the planet, since he's both said and shown to be fully capable of teleporting anywhere he wants to on Earth. This tech also allows him to project a holographic image around his body, letting him disguise himself in public, so he won't walk around town looking like a used tampon. Whoa, like a very used tampon, like it got old and scabby. He was also given a nifty little device that allows him to open a portal doorway to faraway places, universes, dimensions, or even just nearby places he's too lazy to walk to. Wow, that's some pretty impressive stuff we got going on. You guys impressed yet?
I'm touching myself tonight.
Of course not! We haven't even started yet. And not to completely blow your mind or anything, but Deadpool also has a healing factor.
No. It's not true. That's impossible!
It's thanks to this healing factor why he hasn't died from the cancer that fills his entire body, and is partially the reason why he looks like Bigfoot's dick. His constant regeneration keeps the cancer from killing him, but also regenerates the cancer cells, so he always has it. Despite this, his regeneration isn't perfect, and he will die if he takes enough damage. According to Weasel, it would take a nuclear bomb to permanently keep Wade down. He did die once in the canon timeline, however, his entire body had to break down and melt for that to happen. However, he was brought back. After he was brought back to life, Thanos himself bestowed him with immortality and permabanned him from death. Basically to just keep his dirty mitts away from Mistress Death herself. Now, no matter what kind of damage Wade takes, he will always still be alive. And thanks to his immortality, his body is able to withstand inhumane to downright nope levels of punishment and attacks. He's withstood grenades, explosions, falling several stories, super soldiers, or even heavy hitters beating the shit out of him, 2 cars slamming into him at top speed, him going inside of a car and then it falling on the ground and then exploding, still fine. He also survived being stomped on by a zombie T-Rex and then having a satellite fall on him and then explode. Still fine. And he also slammed into an asteroid so hard that it shattered from the impact, and he was still completely fine afterwards. The asteroid is 34.78 meters in length and 20.44 meters in width. Calculating the volume of an ellipsoid with the bare minimum energy value needed to crumble stone, that equals a force of 125.50 tons of TNT. Oh, come on, outlier! Oh really? Guess what? You're wrong. He also tanked an explosion that had a shockwave sending multiple cars flying, and pulverized a calculated proximity of over 2,000 cubic meters of concrete and stone. To completely pulverize and smash that much rock, the force of the boom boom would have to be 129.86 tons of TNT. Pretty much around the same level as the last one, so it's consistent. That's enough to destroy a New York City block nearly 12 times over. But wait a minute, if he's that durable, how come he's vulnerable to bullets? Well, that's just how guns in fiction are, bruh. Minor examples. Spawn tanking nukes and killed omnipotent demon kings. Just watch where you point that gun. Super Boo tanks full force punches from Go tanks and planet busting explosions, gets riddled with bullets. And Wonder Woman can fight evenly with bloodlusted Kryptonians, carry planets, and survive attacks from gods. Oh shit, Magnum! So yeah, guns don't kill people, the writer does. Moving on.
Bruce, Superman's been shot.
Oh yeah, and the one time he did die and become a disembodied ghost, he displayed the ability to possess other people's bodies to perform all sorts of mischief at his own funeral. Over the years of living with permanent regenerating cancer all over his body, as well as constantly getting shot, stabbed, sliced, burned, and nuked on a daily basis, it even hurts him when he regenerates. To cope with it, Wade's mind has delved into sheer madness.
Wait, let me guess. You're Aaron Applebaum, Aaron Aston, Aaron Atwater! Are you just gonna keep yelling names from A to Z until you guess? No? Barry Barrington! You're not well. I know.
Which is the reason why he's a self-aware character and why he has such an impossible borderline masochistic tolerance for pain.
Sponsor!
Dude, that is just not cool. Could you give me a hand? I'm kidding. All right. I'll go get it.
Because of this, Wade's able to remain 100% focused in combat, or as focused as someone like him can be. He's also incredibly resistant to heat and flames due to his suit being completely fireproof. Well, sometimes. He also has resistance to telepathy and mind f***ing, which for those who don't know is attacking and destroying another character's mind. In fact, he's one of those characters who's so insane he actually reverse mind f***ed a powerful telepath. This happened again when Professor X tried to shut his mind down, yet so insane was Deadpool that he actually reverse lobotomized him. He also developed a resistance against powerful soul f***ery, and he also has resistance to body possession. When he resisted the Carnage symbiote, who prior infected an entire race of dinosaurs, it could infect and assimilate an entire race of beings, but it couldn't assimilate Deadpool. As if this merc wasn't dangerous enough, he's also a walking arsenal. In the heat of combat, he has an unfathomable amount of weapons, and like a flasher, he whips them out to show the whole world. And buckle yourself down because we're going through them all. Various different guns of all shapes and sizes. Swords, hunting knives, and hidden switchblades. Twin Sai, fucking Predator stylized wrist blades. Various different explosives, bombs, grenades, and enough C4 and TNT to nuke a small village. Neural disruptor nets, wires, grappling hook guns, a James Bond style time bomb with a calculated amount of 172 tons of TNT, binoculars with both night vision and X-ray, sniping scopes, motorcycles, smoke grenades, sonic bombs, bolas, shurikens.
Ninja Star!
Well, anyway.
Exploding shurikens, eskrima sticks, a bow staff, chainsaws, various different poisons, cyanide, sleeping gas grenades and tranquilizers, rocket launchers and bazookas, railguns, sniper rifles, highly advanced shield level laser cannons and guns with high powered force concussive energy blasts, and bug spray. But hang on, how could he possibly pull them out of thin air like that? Is he a wizard? The reason is he has all these weapons and explosives stashed away in a shitty looking shack. And thanks to the built-in teleporting transportation device on his suit, he's able to instantly teleport whatever weapon he has hidden instantly in the heat of battle to catch his enemies by surprise and flank them. Let's talk about Deadpool's most used weapon, his katanas.
I love this weapon more than any other thing in the whole wide world. You want to know why? No. It's memorable.
Katanas that he names Bea and Arthur, named of course after the famous actress from the Golden Girls, which Deadpool apparently watches religiously. Though, as Wade said himself, it's not as intimidating as a gun, bone claws, or the fingernails of a bag lady.
Manicure.
Nevertheless, Wade has completely mastered several fighting style forms of swordplay and even throws them at people. That's not safe. These blades are also the most dangerous tool in Deadpool's arsenal, thanks to the energy field he surrounds them in. Let me explain. You see, Deadpool charges his blades with an unknown type of energy field from his suit. This energy field works both as a force field for the blades and enhances their cutting power, allowing them to bypass conventional durability for most characters. Under normal circumstances, these are normal blades, but with the energy field, they're able to slice and draw blood from planet-level characters like Savage Hulk. It's also established that with the energy fields, these swords are more powerful than Black Knight's sword named Ebony Blade. Oh my god, now that's impressive. Oh, you never read any of his comics. It itself can mostly bypass conventional durability and has sliced even post-Extremis Iron Man's armor and has shown to cut through virtually everything save for adamantium and Deadpool's katana energy field. Sadly though, with all his powers, abilities, and skill, Deadpool does have 6 major weaknesses. Number 1. Believe it or not, in the canon continuity, Deadpool had a strict no-killing rule for at least a good 10 years in the comics. After suffering a major identity crisis when entering the superhero game, Deadpool swore an oath to not kill even his most hated enemies. He still used guns, but they were almost always armed with tranks or lasers that somehow only knock a person out.
Logan, buddy. It's me, Deadpool. I shot you.
This, however, changed later on. He still has a no-killing policy, but it only applies to normal human beings and bystanders. Supervillains and heroes are fair game, due to, as he put it, life and death being an occupational hazard for them anyway. Number 2. Despite him being able to teleport anywhere on the planet, his teleporter doesn't work half the time, though this is almost always due to plot reasons. Also, he can't teleport when someone else is teleporting, otherwise he'll be thrown back in time, cause comic book science. Number 3. He has a restraining device built into his brain. Weapon X's very own failsafe that freezes Deadpool's movements to keep him in line. Number 4. Wade is incredibly careless in the heat of battle, and he relies solely on letting his immortal body eat up damage, which makes him a vulnerable target most of the time. Number 5. He's also incredibly impulsive, leading to him saying and doing a lot of stupid things that allows other people to trick or take advantage of him.
Still have that unbreakable skull? Ow. Damn it.
Number 6, and his biggest weakness of all, you may need to sit down so you don't faint, and this one I know will shock you. His biggest weakness is his healing factor.
It's a lie! The evidence has been falsified! It's impossible!
Believe it or not, Deadpool's healing factor is among the slowest and least effective in the comics. In fact, it takes him several minutes just to regrow a finger, and at least 20 minutes to regenerate his whole body. So during this time, his enemies almost always take advantage of this and either capture him or flee. On top of that, according to Wade himself, the regeneration process is also incredibly painful the whole time. According to Mistress Death, his regeneration is linked directly to his subconscious, so sometimes Deadpool doesn't even bother regenerating. Instead, he'll carry his lost limbs back and reattach them manually later, which according to him is the reason why he always carries pouches. On top of that, there's a limit to what he can regenerate. For example, he actually did die in the canon timeline, when his entire body melted save for his arm that was apparently giving the finger. But like the cosmic jock that Thanos is, he didn't want Wade messing around with his girl. And thanks to being a herald of Mistress Death and manipulating the very fabrics of life and death itself, Thanos brought Wade back to life and banned him from death permanently. In other words, now you can permanently incapacitate him, but his destroyed body will still be conscious even if it's not able to recover. Now let's start wrapping this up. Since I have a Versus series currently in production, I will only talk about what tier he's in the Marvel Universe, if of course that's alright with you guys. In terms of tiers, he's where most people peg as mid-level meta-human tier. In terms of power, he easily dispatched most X-Force members, save for Cable, who with his powers is still more powerful than Wade. He's defeated the cybernetically enhanced Kane, and quickly dispatched Domino without her able to land a single hit on him. He also did the same thing with Kraven the Hunter, and pointed out how easy that fight was. He fought evenly with Luke Cage and Iron Fist at the same time, and characters like Taskmaster admits that Deadpool is a better fighter than he is. He single-handedly took down 3 Thunderbolt members, one of which was Ant-Man, and casually took down an entire platoon of Doombots, although he did act a little too big for his britches when he challenged the Doom himself. He also even defeated Adamantium Sabretooth while his body was melting. And he also easily defeated Boneclaw Wolverine in a fair fight on at least 2 occasions, one of which he was actually trying to lose. However, when Wolverine got his adamantium skeleton, he was able to overwhelm the Merc completely, and with Wade's trickery, he only barely managed to make the fight a draw. And he's fought Daredevil several times. 9 times out of 10, Daredevil usually wins out of pure skill and ability. Deadpool did, however, beat him once, though that was only because he pretended to have a baby hostage. He's also pretty far below the likes of the Punisher. Oh, come on, the Punisher can't be that ridiculously powerful. Well, let me put it to you this way. He's the f***ing Punisher. Yes, he most certainly can be. Let me put it to you this way. In their first major encounter, he got stabbed, then fell several stories and landed on a car with enough force to flatten it, and he still beat the piss out of Deadpool. In their second major encounter, when the Punisher was actually hunting Deadpool, Wade actually had to have Daredevil be a bodyguard to protect him from him. That's not to say Deadpool is weak, it's just that the Punisher is just that ridiculous. I mean, the dude is straight up Brock Samson on steroids. There are also people Deadpool himself recognizes he's no match for. During the Civil War event, he refused to hunt Captain America because he knew he would get his tumor-covered ass kicked. This is further established later on when a weakened, battle-weary Captain America overwhelmed 2 different Deadpools at once and later one-shot Wade with a single punch. Damn, knocked him the f*** out. Then there's Hitmonkey. Holy shit. He also got a job to assassinate the Spider-Man villain Rhino. How did it go down? Well, you ever seen that Nasty Canasta episode of Looney Tunes? Like that. He even gave up on the job halfway through because, well, he explains it himself. However, later on he did defeat Rhino due to the quick on his feet thinking and skilled trickery. Overall, without his broken regeneration and hacked swords that can bypass durability when charged, he's above most street-sweeping superheroes aside, of course, from top dogs like Cap and Spidey. In the end, Wade is the merc with the mouth who's almost never serious, but always means business.
Whatever you say, Ponytail. Who might say no to a little murder? Strike a pose!
I'll catch you guys in a few weeks when I upload my next video. I apologize again for the disappearing act. My Acer laptop that I use to record and edit literally crashes and breaks every time I pull an all-nighter, which by my count is 6 times in a row and a good several $100s worth of repair money. But don't worry, now I've got it all taken care of. Ever seen Office Space? Anyway, here's the preview for the next episode. Actually, you know what? I'm so confident that there won't be any more problems, I'll just leave you with this little hint. Next time...
It's Miller time.
What? They call me Deadpool, I'm hella fast. Came to murk the bad guys and get some ass. Got blades for days, got guns galore. Got combo moves, evades and more. With bear traps and hand grenades. Pull the pistol like a maniac right in your face. Popping off caps, leave a trail of guts. Sitting on my chair, scratching my nuts. Don't stop when I shoot, full auto was on. Your ass is grass and I'm on the lawn. Hot lead to the head and I won't stop. What your crew gonna do when I hack and chop? All these bitches are prima donnas. I stuff my face with chimichangas.